Hello? Hello? Mario. Mario! Your castle's in danger! I don't know what that voice is. Where's the... There it is. I want to play Great Ace Attorney. Might try to finish Case 4 that I'm still on and have been on for a while. Case 4. Okay, I thought for a second my webcam was on. Hold on. It's not on, is it? Wait, get out of here. I'm... Why is Steam open? Get... Oh, wait, hold on. Dun 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 da da there we go do 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 there we go do 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 do. So yeah, but we're playing Civ. So I'm doing the old 1-2 combo of like, oh, I want to play Great Ace Attorney. We're gonna play Civ. I'm gonna play Great Ace Attorney first. I got some antibiotics for my cough that I've had for the last like month. And I feel like they're already helping a little bit. Like I don't feel so congested in my throat. I'm not sure. I feel like the gunk is down in my chest a little bit though, so might still be a less talkative, but honestly if it's down in my chest, like that's good. It's like it's moving. It's flowing through me. It's not like stuck anymore. But yeah, let me grab water, and I've got a little drink that I filled up that I want to refill up because it was a couple days ago that I poured something for myself a couple days ago, planning to stream, and then I had like I think I was coughing too much. I don't know. I'll be right back. Oh, geez, will the antibiotic G Fuel save my ability to stream? Let's find out. And also, will we be able to beat Case 4 this stream? That is probably a no, because we're not even on the final trial section yet. So, when we left off, there's a cough out of nowhere. We were talking to Sholmes, or we were sort of talking to Sholmes. I mean, like, he's here, we can talk to him, but he just kind of says filler dialogue. My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I heard that you'd been attacked by a dog. For a moment, I feared that infamous murderer of so many had come back from the dead. You mean the professor? I see your prized throat is unscathed. I don't know about that one. It's unscathed on the outside. Honestly, I feel pretty good in my throat right now. I kind of feel like it's weird. I think the gunk from my throat is like moving down through my chest right now. But it feels unstuck. Like I think a couple, like, you know, some more days of antibiotics and it'll probably be pretty unstuck. That stiff, turned up collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection. So when last time the dog like attacked me, there's this dog named Toby and it like attacked me. Because it attacked me for a reason, but I don't remember what the reason was at all. And the logs do not go back to last stream, so. All I really remember is the dog licking my face over and over again. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in the future, everyone I know nowadays has been getting sick. Yeah, it sounds like, I know COVID has been on the rise again lately, but I don't know, it's just weird, and I honestly think it's, I honestly think it's the weird, like, heat, too. Like, this started when I was working outside at the water park. And then I think the reason it's stuck around so long is just because I haven't... Like, I've been taking cough syrup and stuff, but when I went to the doctor, it seemed like the problem was... Like, the problem is it's actually, like, my sinuses are building up, but they're building up, like, way in the back, so then it all just goes, like, down into my throat. I don't know. Weird stuff, but hopefully the stuff they've given me will continue to work. I already feel like it's working better than the cough syrup was, for sure. I should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly. Alright, so talking to him doesn't actually serve any purpose. I don't really know. I probably need to go somewhere next, but I don't... What do I do, Susato? I already clicked this box last time, but... Are you alright? It's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigations. Do you remember anything from last stream? Not really. Well, as long as you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far wrong. You what? You won't go far wrong? What is... I don't know what that means. Okay, well that was useless. I was hoping you'd tell me where to go. Maybe we can just hang out in Sholmes' suite and talk to... I want to talk to Sholmes, because he has been lying to me about things. What was he lying to me about? I don't remember. What am I hearing right now? What is going on? I'm so unaccustomed to, like, voice acting in this game. I heard this singing, and I swear to God, for a split second, I thought I somehow was in a Discord call, and one of my friends just, like, hopped on and started talking. Like, what is this? Why am I hearing, like, German singing? Am I having a bad dream? Ah, no. It's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think. That's the least of my concerns. Iris? Iris, what's the matter? Who is that sprawling, I mean, that relaxed gentleman over there? Iris? Is she even listening? Excuse me, sir? I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but that guy's not the one singing, is he? Would you be kind enough to explain the situation? Well, that worked. A crooning gentleman and a mute young girl. A rather tantalizing juxtaposition. Is he the one singing? He looks like he's passed out. And one that appears to have incited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices, too. Cool. The most random... Oh, that's just me. I'm in your wall. Yeah, right? Like, that's just... I'm like, who's in my walls singing in German right now? But I think we're about to do the most random deduction dance of all time. The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a morose theme about the great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris. What is going on? This is the most, like, random, I'm truly clueless great deduction yet. Because, like, I don't... Like, I woke up, like, 10 minutes ago. In-game. And now it's, like, something is happening, and we're gonna figure out what it is, somehow. By the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Musicland, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Yeah, I'm gonna need to... So I've got, like, a drink, but I need, like, water. I'm gonna be right... I'm gonna go fill up a water bottle because deduction dances are very extra. Okay. Alright. Gamer time. The great deduction is afoot. Pray, do enjoy Herlock Sholmes' latest logic and reasoning spectacular. The great deduction. The game is afoot. Dun, 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 dun. Topic 1. Man's identity. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's a German with no grasp of the English language. Oh, no, the Adolfo. Bine dono stabil nadvon. Do bom di do. As evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. So, why is the man here at all, and in such apparently high spirits? So, I'm pretty sure the record player is what's playing the German right now. Like, I don't think that's him singing. I think he's passed out. So, from the beginning, he hasn't even presented something I'm ready to challenge yet, and I'm already pretty sure he's wrong. The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. I can always tell when someone's acting sus. We need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel that particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. I'm unplugging my webcam because I don't like that green light looking at me. And I'm not using my webcam anyway. You obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavor have made the man's spirits soar. And resulted in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly await sampling the flavor myself, so that I may join the fellow in his state of elation. Now to the next question. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the settee? Who exactly is this gentleman? Yeah, okay. I read that funny, but... As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. Yeah, definitely the record player, but Sholmes is just a big dump. Yeah. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottschried Sigismund von Ormstein. Haven't we met the King of Germany? No, I just know that name because it's the name of the King of Germany. What is going on? This is definitely not the King of Germany, Sholmes. I just woke up and I think even I know that. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. And that's the only feature I can use to recognize it. That mask belongs to the King of Germany. Isn't that the mask that was... Isn't that Kazuma's mask that was sitting up on the mantelpiece? Like, what... Sholmes, what are you talking about? I think this may be the most off you've ever been. What is going... It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. A well-mannered monarch indeed. Wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? So, the identity of this masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the great exhibition. Was his son the little German boy from case 3? Topic 2, girls' silence. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. The one thing he has right here is that Iris is acting strange and, like, sus. I think every single thing about the first section was wrong. Except maybe her, like, giving the guy tea. That was very low. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. A £5 note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. What? It would appear that you've allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness. How? How is that? How is that your best conclusion? How is that the conclusion you've come to here? What? Buddy. Earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the king's secret. And now, the final piece of the puzzle. What is this secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah, yes. We need only follow that brief, involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup. And why would she do this, though? It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke it in the midst of his hijinks. Which leads us to the sad truth. My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany! And Iris, you tried to conceal it from me! Alright. My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany. And Iris, you tried to conceal it from me. Let's remember this line of dialogue and see, like, what word. I think the only correct part of this is, my favorite coffee cup has been broken. I'm like, and I don't even know, like, I shall have a bill sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. Topic 2. Girl's silence. Conclusion. To hide the coffee cup. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle. He flipped the puzzle upside down, put like two pieces together correctly over in the corner. Like he flipped the puzzle upside down, put two pieces together correctly in the corner, and then like got pieces from another puzzle and started attaching them. This is not. Where do I even begin here? I guess we begin with the record player and this obviously music that is obviously coming from the record player. With your silence as well, the fellow's jovial warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not? Mr. Sholmes? I must say, something does rather trouble me. Pray, Miss Susato, do tell. His Royal Highness... He doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. Ah. And you haven't said a word either, Iris. If Mr. Sholmes has it all right, you might as well own up to it now. I'm pretty sure he's not right. Your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. And one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruhodo? Surely not. Well, I actually read the story of that case recently. The one you were just describing. It wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia. Goodness, was it? Really remember. Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotz, the prince, testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition for all the way from my home in Bohemia. Yeah, the kid from the last case. I would ask that you keep that minor error to yourselves. It could quite easily become a scandal. Alice, darling. This is... Alright. Even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Have we just... I feel like Sholmes has gotten lazier since we showed up to correct his errors. Like this is not... This is a first guess, even by Sholmes, even by his standards. One truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more. Yeah, I think that part seems correct. So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes is logic and reasoning spectacular. Where you explain everything, because my coffee cup broke and I'm a sad little boy. Topic 1, man's identity. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly he's a German with no grasp of the English language. So why is the man here at all, and in such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Alright, we've read this already. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. So what? It's some mix of herbs that gives you the urge to sing? Goodness, I should like to try some. And I'd like to hear your singing, but this man, just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune? He's been stock still this entire time. And if you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. Ah, so I'm not sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing. This is the most obvious part of the entire thing. He's not the one singing. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. That's ridiculous. I didn't think it was him singing. This gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear that the fellow is unconscious, which I recognized immediately upon looking at it. I feel like very obviously, immediately recognizable piece of information. I ask you, Mr. Narahoda, why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? Well, never mind. On with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the settee? We already know it's not the King of Germany, because I don't know him. That mask belongs to the King of Germany or Bohemia or whoever I talk to. Seems Mr. Solmes tends to persist with his Germany theory for some reason. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Master Gotts? The boy whom you had in tears? Don't remind me. Or anyone else. Do you suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? Sure they do. Well, probably, anyway. The point is, that mask doesn't belong to any king. Because that's Kazuma's mask. This is another thing we definitely knew right away. The mask belongs to Kazuma Asogi, not the King of Germany. In other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable. At least he knows. Only you could try to make that sound positive. My memory is sublimely unreliable. Kazuma's mask has been languishing on this metal chest for several days, though that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it is now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask, and peer beneath it. I mean, I guess that's one way to figure out his identity. I don't believe it. Ah! Father? I'm afraid, Miss Usato, you must be mistaken. No! I think not, Mr. Sholmes. Then it would appear our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. This mysterious visitor. I honestly didn't recognize him either. Is my unconscious father, Eugen Mikatoba. Huh? Logic and reasoning? Or just looking and saying? I know, this is not like a particularly, like, none of this is particularly deductive. Like, we're just making very basic observations. I'm like, usually, Usually Sholmes is at least good at basic observations, but he just completely missed the mark this time. Conclusion. Eugen Mikatoba, not the king of Germany. Topic 2! Girls, silence! Yes, you, young Iris. What are you hiding? But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. The reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. So that's a 5-pound note poking out from Iris's knapsack, is it? Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money we encounter is in coin form. I know. I'm not sure if we've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we? But anyway, Father would never have paid money for Iris's silence. There must be some other reason. You know, something she's trying to, like, hide. Not just she was paid into silence about breaking the coffee cup, or whatever the hell we're talking about here. Now I think about it, Iris always wears that little bag on her back, doesn't she? Yes, that's right. Though it's easy to forget about it because you can't see it from the front. There are 2 little felt dolls attached as well. Are there? I had no idea. I don't remember ever seeing them before. Is it possible that there's always a 5-pound note poking out of her bag? I couldn't say with absolute certainty, but I think it's unlikely. Okay. This is a weird, like, camera perspective they got us on, where there's not really anything to, like, click on over here. Persian slipper? Why is this? This slipper features in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, doesn't it? It does. When I first saw it there on the mantelpiece, I nearly fainted with excitement. Doesn't Iris keep her 11Cs in there? What is that? We could swap it with the Japanese equivalent of it. Does this matter? Why am I reading this? Like, this is the weirdest. They've got me in this weird camera perspective where I can't, like, I can click on the slipper over here. And I can, like, I can't even click on him. So why does the camera let me pan all the way over to him? What's Iris really looking at? I guess she's, like, looking over this way? At the slipper? Oh, wait. The reason is concealed inside the Okay. The reason for her muteness is concealed inside the... It's not inside the Persian slipper. What else could she be looking at? I really just picked that because it was the only item on the left side of the screen that I could click on. She's been secretly hiding chocolates inside the Persian slipper. And I've secretly been eating them! A symbiosis that I thank you not to disturb, Mr. Naruhodo. How have I ended up being the person at fault here? This one's a weird one. If Iris is refusing to talk, she's surely trying to hide something. See, and you would think it'd be something, like, on her person, but clearly it's not, because the camera angle is, like, I can't click on anything except... But, like, what else can I even click on? The chest? This metal chest contains important documents, doesn't it? Huh. The catch is unlocked. Aha, there we go. Not the Persian slipper. That was an object so I could get it wrong. Boom. That one's weird, because it's really just asking, what is Iris looking at, where she could have hidden something? And there's, like, 3 options. The knapsack, the slipper bait, and then the chest. The reason for your muteness is concealed inside that metal chest. An excellent observation, for upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest's appearance. It's kept locked at all times, yet now, the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. But it's a simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need open this chest. I merely need open this chest. I feel like that was supposed to be his dialogue. I don't know why. I just feel like it was written like him talking. No! Hurry, don't! What is going on? What? He's dead. Never! Oh, Hurley, I told you not to open it. You could have given me 10 guesses to, like, guess what was inside there, and a, like, punching bag a boxing glove contraption that would launch someone into the air and knock them unconscious on the couch would not have been in my top 10, maybe top 100 guesses. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is... This is somewhat different to the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Sholmes, isn't it? Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm going to have to dance this next part solo. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this, for my own peace of mind. Now, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so... You mean you don't actually know the answer yet? Despite that knowing point of the finger before? Miss Susato, sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Oh, well, if you say so. I think we'd better examine Iris more close. So, alright. So, clearly she made a little contraption, but I don't know why. Let's check the knapsack again, I guess. This knapsack is really standing out. That knapsack is sus! It's kind of shaped like an imposter. It's quite sizable enough for a sizable secret, that's what I say. Perhaps it is, but we certainly can't open it up to look inside without Iris's permission. No, you're right. Just rip it off of her and, like, who knows what might pop out and punch us. True, she could have more booby traps in there. Alright, what else could she be hiding? Why couldn't Iris open her mouth the whole time? Is something in her mouth? What? Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is I have absolutely no idea. This is the only thing I can click on.
Take that!
Clearly, the reason you've said nothing all this time is something to do with your knapsack. It's a sizable bag for a sizable secret. Did you just repeat what I just said without coming up with anything? What? Well, you've been left alone on the dance floor, as you say, so I'm trying to fill Mr. Sholmes' shoes. Well, it's, very refreshing. Oh, but of course, I nearly forgot. I have to give you strikes. You don't need to imitate every move. Okay, well, it's not that. I'm gonna figure out what else I can even click on. So why did it take Mr. Sholmes being thrown across the room for her to talk? What can I even click on besides the knapsack? Skirt? Weird. I forgot how, like, fat the frilly skirt is. Sizable enough for a sizable secret. You certainly can't go investigating further. Does it look like that's what I was thinking? That is just as, like, if I present this, he's gonna say, sizable enough for a sizable secret, and then he's gonna get another strike. What is the answer? I don't... Oh, it's a key. key she's holding. Look. I'm sure that wasn't in her hands before, but she's literally doing the hide an object behind my back kid thing, and none of us noticed it until now. Oh, well, I don't think she had it in her hands before. Like, before the boxing glove. The only thing that isn't just the sizable secret joke. When Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before. Just before you called out to try to stop it, you slipped something out of your mouth. Okay, so she was hiding the key in her mouth. That's funny. You're so clever, Runo! So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphic demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here. Professor Mikatoba also opened that metal chest only to be punched into the air and land sprawled on the settee. But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea? And above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Clearly, an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? What? Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. When Professor Mikatoba opened the chest, completely unaware of what awaited him inside, the mask was flung into the air just as he was, only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down. This is so stupid. And the teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught on the unconscious professor's finger. So he just landed like that. And the scarf is the tablecloth. This is the great detective's office, after all. Place of miraculous deductions. I should have poured some booze into this little drink. Or this probiotic soda. To give me more probiotics, that's actually, I should be drinking that right now, since I'm taking antibiotics. Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Rudo! Thus concludes Ryunosuke Naruhodo's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. So unnecessary. Why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Objection!
An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance. Surprise! There's more! Mr. Sholmes, if you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. She is? Okay. So I put it to you again. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup! Bro. You wanna just go back to sleep? Sholmes, you wanna just, like, go lay down for a while again? Can you just maybe stay on the couch for a little while? I don't know what you're cooking right now. They say let him cook, but I don't know. Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here. I think Mr. Sholmes' mind may be one of them. Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore. In other words, her great secret is something else. He's really obsessed with the cup thing, isn't he? Watching the camera around her again. Coffee cup. Knapsack. If it's the knapsack this time, I don't... What's this? That's a case file. Ooh. file from the... Is that the case file from the coroner's office that we were trying to find that we couldn't find? That's what she... You were attempting to abscond with that case file. Iris, you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective. Except the record player, the fact that the guy was unconscious, the punching bag. I really didn't know what was going on this time. I really still don't quite know. What case file? Where is it? We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today, and Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint Van Zeeks had gone missing. Clint Van Zeeks. Yes, I do seem to recall that some years ago I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? But why did she steal the case file? You mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are... I'm sorry. Forgive me! To hide... Conclusion. To hide the case file. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. Alright, that was a weird one. That was a real weird one. In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. I must admit my game is a little off today. Caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting Detective Herlock Sholmes. Ugh, I'm sorry, Hurley. So you mean this autopsy report really is... Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. Just got darker in here. Must be getting darker outside, and I have my curtains closed, so just kind of created a weird effect. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's. The writing? Your father's writing? What do you really mean? Iris. It must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten. Father! Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest? Mr. Navahoden. Yes? Would you be so kind as to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, why is he distracting us from the... I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. We wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew. Or maybe he's not trying to distract us, because it sounds like he's leaving. There's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. I wonder. Perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris the chance to talk more freely, but why? I don't... We must use this opportunity to talk with Iris and find out what's going on. Alright, well, the silly great deduction is over. What is going on with this stolen autopsy report? Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father? I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner? Yes, and that notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest. That's right. Hurley told me, you see. It's funny how their chest full of important, documents is just sitting in the middle of the living room being used as a coffee table. I mean, it kind of makes sense, to be honest. Nobody's gonna think, oh, the important documents here, they'll be in the chest coffee table. And even if they do that, they don't have the key. And there's also like the punching bag booby trap. I don't is that always there? He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet. Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build up a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like. Well, that's only natural. You're just like any other girl of your age. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and I took my degree too. Well, that's only natural, I suppose. If you're like a super genius child. You're not quite like any other girl of your age, though, in that respect. But there was one thing I could never find out. Daddy's name. Ah? His name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes he made in his work about his work with Hurley. But then one day, that's what happened, is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right? Yes. So it was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye. Does the report have his name on it? When I saw the writing on that report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself. Because it was the same writing you'd seen on your father's case notes. Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time we'd be allowed even to look at it there. So you decided to steal it. When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report read Dr. John H. Wilson. So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last. I see. Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. And that's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. I decided there and then that I'd write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, Iris, I had no idea the stories had such a deep personal significance for you. I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. And why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. And then she was embarrassed because she knew she was embarrassed for stealing it, so she was like, "Oh, I gotta hide it." I must apologize, Iris. Oh, that's Schultz. I must apologize, Iris. This really is all my fault. Hurley? I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret. I know. I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gorey and apologize, I promise. Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then, let me look after it for you until we get there. Clint autopsies. Okay, so we're gonna keep that and use that for the case. And then we're gonna give it back. This is what we call a pro gamer move. I must go and water my herbs, I think. I'll see you all later. Poor Iris. She must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. Ah! What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? Oh, dear me. So, you've noticed. I see. But, that would mean... What on earth's the matter, Miss Susato? You've turned as white as a sheet. It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo, the one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this writing very well. This writing, it's my father's. What? Is Dr. Wilson not... Was Mika Toba actually Sholmes' partner the whole time? What? Professor Mikatoba? Indeed, it's true. And now you know, my dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. What on earth does all of this mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind, it's just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to, because Mikatoba said that John H. Wilson was not Herlock's partner. So, interesting. Does that mean that Iris's father is actually Eugen Mikatoba then? So, the autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikatoba then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible. My dear fellow, please take a deep breath and think again. Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. It does? 10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. Okay, the problem is if Mikatoba did the autopsy on Clint Van Zeeks, then that just honestly just shoots him way up the suspect list on the professor case. Because I've been saying for a while now that I don't think Genshin Asogi actually killed Clint Von Zeeks. And that I think his two friends are a little suspicious. It's suspicious how much their careers prospered while Genshin was framed as this killer. Now we know that Mikatoba wrote the autopsy report that basically got Genshin convicted. So he just shot way up the sus list. Oh dear. And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikatoba engaged? Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory, learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. So yeah, him writing the autopsy report is not strange, because the head coroner would check the documents and put a signature on them. What is weird, what is odd, is that the writing in Sholmes' case, all the case notes of Sholmes' were not written by Dr. John H. Wilson, which is what we, the audience, would assume based on our knowledge of, like, Sherlock Holmes and Watson, the pair. But they were actually written by someone else. By Eugen Mikatoba. She saw that and she assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson. Which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. Your partner. Here's the real question. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. So what about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see. And please come straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade, the only person I could have truly called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest? Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely. So, where's your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world. But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion. Pray, impress me. Your partner would have to be Yujin Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Susato's father. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You've finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba. Now, why did they keep this info a secret from us? I don't know. Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson? No, my dear, I'm still my old self, Yujin Mikotoba, your father. Oh, of course. I just got a little mixed up, right? Because Wilson's the guy who was like your boss at the... Yeah, I'm just... This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Pray remind me? Wait. I still remember the first time we met. Pray remind me. When was it again, Mikotoba? Those were both his lines. He's just full of hot air. 16 years ago, Mr. Schultz. Yes, quite. 16 years ago. I just arrived from Japan with Sashiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital. Some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right. So I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and the expense. And was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who'd found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for a little gain. And the situation of our cohabitation led to us pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. The case with which you've become rather familiar yourself. The Professor killings. After the trial, Sashiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstances. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. So when Sholmes met me, Susato, and Kazuma on the steamship, he had all the lore. He just didn't tell. He's like, I know your father, I know your father, I don't know who you are, but you seem good at this mystery solving thing. So Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner. Father. Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look. As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you are the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. And that is? You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father. Of course, I'd almost forgotten. Is he Iris's father? I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Iris's father. Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures that are in that metal case were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes? That is indeed what I told young Iris. But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you. Upon my word, Miss Susato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. What you always told me, Father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Great Britain. And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris... Oh, there it is. Susato-san's ice-cold stare. No! Now, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is. Ooh, there it is. The eyes go from ice cold to red hot. Just before she... No, really, you got the wrong end of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man. That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Sholmes? When did he get all dressed up? Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikatoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go? Why, my dear madam, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikatoba. The game is afoot. What? We're just not going to let him answer the question? But, Sholmes, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really. I visit our home after 10 long years, and when I opened that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably So that's why he opened the chest. Oh, that's funny. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regained consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all this. Father, please, go with Mr. Sholmes now. What? I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interest. I trust you, completely. It's a bit of a swerve. Susato. And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. Very well then, we'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruto. Good luck in battle, and in reaching a decision. A decision? About whether to go back to Japan, I suppose. So we're not...
So much happened that
we're gonna
day
tail
that I
them,
barely
right?
knew what to
No?
do with myself.
No, we're doing the recap. We're not gonna follow them and see what they're up to. No? Okay.
It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth.
Huh.
And that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
What is in this autopsy report? Quentin von Zeke's male, 33, nationality British, time of death 31st of May between 9 p.m. and midnight, death from a single stab wound to the heart. Other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel? Wait a minute, what? I thought the professor? The professor. The professor Mikatoba? Wait a minute. That might be a reach, but it also might be like the most obvious clue sitting right under our noses. Recent scarlet ink stains visible in the little and red fingers of the right hand. This is what gets me, because I thought the professor killed it. I thought the whole thing was that he like attacked people with a dog. Wasn't that like a plot point? So why does it say death from a stab wound to the heart? Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so darkly to the... So whatever that vital evidence was, that's what they used to convict Genshin. But... the only people who can say for sure that this said evidence was actually recovered from the victim's stomach would be John H. Wilson, who's dead, Gregson, who's dead, and Mika Toba. It's all starting to form into a little picture now, isn't it? I think the three of them were covering something up together. Because now that I think about it, Wilson was killed by an assassin sent by Gregson, supposedly. And then Gregson dies while Mikatoba's in town. The pattern is too suspicious to be coincidental. I think Mr. Naruhodo was right. We do have all the information we need. And maybe he was going to France because he decided... I wonder if he got killed because he got a conscience about what they did. And then Wilson also got killed for the same reason. End? The legendary pair. Final? Oh, is this... Oh. Oh. Is this chapter 5? See, it's interesting because this says final. This is just episode 5 of the first game. So is this just one big last, like, final trial? Is that actually the end of case 4? Interesting. I feel like there's still so much we don't know. Final. The final case, perhaps? It is, I mean, I did hear it was like a two-part. Oh. Twisted Karma and his last bow. Final chapter. The resolve for Inosuke Naruhodo. Ooh. So this is where the final chapter starts. Interesting. Hold on. Let me see what's going on. Because I'm playing Civ. I've been cut. Yo, on way home. Yo. Okay, I'm gonna cut, and I'll be back in like 10 minutes, and we'll play. We'll play some Civ 6, Civ 5. Return to title screen, yes. Alright. Very excited. And the final trial, which we may finish tomorrow, or maybe this weekend. I don't know. Or maybe... Yeah, okay, we're either gonna finish this trial... We're either gonna finish this trial tomorrow, or we're gonna finish it, like... Oh, wait. Oh, God. Hold on, why is this zoomed in like this? Oh, shit. Shoot. Was the game zoomed in all funny? Clearly it wasn't zoomed in that bad because you didn't notice. Was the game, like, zoomed in when you were watching it? I mean, you've been here this whole time, so it couldn't have been that bad if you didn't notice. Like, I don't know why my I just like looked at my OBS for the first time, and the desktop capture was like not exactly lined up. I have no way to really like look at what was on screen before. Sorry, VOD watchers. that this video's kind of zoomed in weird. If it is, hopefully it's not too intrusive. Clearly, I doubt it was, because I had a, you've been here watching. Somebody is watching this stream right now, and he did not say anything. So hopefully it's fine. Oopsies, oopsies. I've done worse. I've done far worse. I have an entire Danganronpa video. No, it's only the desktop that looked. So the game looked fine. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I'm gonna cut stream and I'll be back in like 10 minutes to play Novu time, and Terra, and I'll look at it and see what it looked like. Terra Novu. All right. I'll be back. Bye bye.